Okay, so you will get these kind of questions on the test. Um, I just gave you a little snippet of what a passage might look like and the question they'll ask you relating to that passage. And a lot of times when you're reading these passages, to answer the question, it only requires you to pull from a certain section of the passage, not the entire thing, and also mix that small section with your baseline knowledge in order to arrive at the right question. And as always, it's going to take some critical thinking mixed with that as well. So go ahead, pause, read the question, see if you come up with the right answer. Okay. All right, so the correct answer is boom, boom, B. Now, you might be asking, why is it B? Well, let's get into it. So, I believe the first thing that you need to bring to the question, your background knowledge that you need to bring into the question, is the difference between an endotherm and an ectotherm. Most humans, mammals, kind of things like that. Most humans, mammals, stuff like that, are endotherms, meaning that they regulate their temperature internally. Versus ectotherms, I'm sure you can guess the opposite. They regulate their temperature externally, or better put, their internal temperature is based on the environment. They don't have internal mechanisms to regulate their temperature. So we'll say and fun fact, this is actually of cold-blooded. And this is actually the definition of warm-blooded. Okay. So that's the first thing, I believe. Understanding that, if you knew that, then it would help you answer this question correctly. Moving forward, so, sorry, forgive me, let me back up. So if you, off top, understand endotherm versus ectotherm, boom, you can get rid of D, because you will not use different mechanisms. You will not use different mechanisms depending on the environment, because we're talking about humans here, and humans are endotherms, and endotherms regulate their temperature internally. Regardless of the environment we're in, we use the same mechanisms to regulate our temperature. Therefore, we can get rid of D. We can get rid of C because lose heat more rapidly than people who weren't born with this defect. If they actually lost heat more rapidly, then they wouldn't die of heat-related illnesses. This is the exact opposite. They're not losing heat rapidly enough. So that is incorrect. And A is incorrect as well. Regulate their temperature better than when they're in temperate climates, which makes no sense. It's basically saying that these people with this defect perform, or they regulate their temperature much more effectively in these hot environments, but we just read that they die more often. They die more often in hot environments. So that absolutely makes no sense. And just as an aside, It's very important to know about the mechanisms. You should have a little baseline knowledge coming into a question like this about circulatory regulation, aka sweating. I'm sorry, aka vasodilation. Forgive me. And sweat gland. My bad. Glandular regulation, aka sweating. And last but not least, in case you were wondering what radiation meant, it essentially means absorbing electromagnetic radiation, which is composed of, everything, visible light, invisible light, all of those different waves. You should look up the EMR spectrum. You need to know that as well. So radiation just means you're absorbing these waves. And oftentimes these waves convert into heat. Well, your body converts it into heat. So I've talked enough. Hopefully you got this question right. This is really majorly, I would say, a question on critical thinking, but understanding these background concepts would also help you answer a question like this. Until next time, peace.